have to be very careful. I don't want to do anything to disparage anyone's character. I don't want to do anything that might be incorrect in the eyes of the court. So I'll just say that I was hoping that by this weekend there would be a better defense than what I saw from the attorneys, and there was not. It didn't appear, and so I felt that it was time for me to do what I've always done. I've always felt that if I did everything I could do, the good Lord would do the rest. And so I've been counting on other people to do everything they could do for me, and that hasn't worked out. And so now I'm going to do everything I can do, and we'll let the good Lord take care of the rest.
Sam, you mentioned in court that this was a politically motivated
I'm not
case.
going to be able to talk too much about that.
About
you
that.
know that, because it's
Okay.
especially with
Sure.
where the case stands right now. I don't want to do anything to get on the bad side of her honor. She's been very gracious to me, and I don't want to. I can't really speak about too much of that.
You mentioned you want to call witnesses. What do you think the witnesses will? How will that help your case?
I look forward to presenting them, and you'll see that when the time comes.
Why is this? Why have you gone through so many attorneys?
They left the first one. The first one went over. He left his position as a court-appointed defense attorney and went to work for the prosecution. He went to work as an assistant U.S. attorney. I had nothing to do with that. I presume I don't have anything to do with that. I think that was probably a career move on his part. The second one disappeared. We exchanged voicemails, and then I never heard from him anymore. The third one retired and went back to Ohio, is my understanding. If I'm incorrect on that, I don't mean to be. My understanding, he sent me a letter saying he was retiring and going back to Ohio. And so then the fourth one, she was my appointed attorney for the better part of a year, maybe more than a year. I'm not quite certain right now. But in an entire year, we had 1 hour of FaceTime. When you're facing 70,000 documents, that's what I think you just heard in court. The prosecution has 70,000 pages, maybe in excess of 70,000 pages now, of documents. And when you're a court-appointed attorney, or any attorney, spends 1 hour of FaceTime with you, and then she decided to, because she wanted me to take a plea, and I wouldn't do that because I'm innocent. And because I wouldn't take the plea, she resigned. I didn't fire her. She walked away. And so now Mr. Shire was appointed, and it's obvious to me that no one is going to take this seriously, especially an appointed. I guess you get what you pay for.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, I haven't looked at your campaign fund lately. It's still active, right? And there's still money in there?
You'd have to check on that. You'd have to talk to the State Board of Elections about that. They're a little busy today, probably.
They are a little busy today.
Would be my guess.
I mean, other folks have paid for defense attorneys out of their campaign funds.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this active case. I have to be very careful. I'm not a trained attorney. I don't pretend to be. I don't want to get on the bad side of the Department of Justice any more than I already am, and I don't want to get on the bad side of this judge.
Why do you want to represent yourself pro se now?
I think I covered that day. I think I covered that. It's obvious that nobody is going to take it seriously, certainly as seriously as I do. If I had the funds to retain an F. Lee Bailey, that it would probably be a little different, but I can't do that. So.
You don't plan to use your campaign funds to hire an attorney or pay for an investigator? You talked about a need for an investigator.
A possible need for an investigator. We'll discuss all of that at this upcoming pretrial. Again, that's, I think, more for the pretrial than out here on the sidewalk.
How are you supporting yourself now?
Thank God my wife is working.
I thought she's a traveling nurse or something like that, or she's a nurse?
She's a nurse.
And you have children? How many kids do you have?
We have 3 kids and a grandchild.
Okay. Well, you had a pretty unconventional term as a representative in the General Assembly, and your career has continued to be unconventional. I mean, what would you say about that? Should
God bless America. I don't fear those who can kill the flesh. I'm only worried about the one who can, and I know I'm right with him. I'm not worried about these people because they cannot kill my son. I look forward to presenting a case, and we'll let the judge sort it out.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous at all.
Why not? Why not?
Because I know God's got this.
What if you go to prison for this?
God's got this. Whatever happens, God's got it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it.